Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So this wasn't the next video I was planning to make, but as with many things, life has thrown a little bit of a curveball into my face in the shape of a deformed and overpriced Pokeball. Imagine you're me. Your sleep schedule has been ruined for the last week as you've been trying to balance your work schedule and also your personal life and also working on personal projects. So you're up at 2 a.m. with no signs of sleeping, with plans to get up at 8 in the morning. You happen to look at your phone and see on the Nintendo Today app that there is a Pokeball icon. And of course, you must click on it because you have to hear about Pokemon news. And then, once upon clicking on it, you see splash art for Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Oh, but it's just Nintendo music. It can't be that important. You scroll down to the next tab, and it shows a trailer for Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green coming to Nintendo Switch. What the fuck? And it's a cute trailer. It shows little clips of Fire Red and Leaf Green, all the trainers. It has like a little sentimental, oh, this is a game you grew up with. You remember these things. This is great. Everyone's going to have a great time playing Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. And then it shows the Game Boy Advance. And I think purposefully they were trying to make you think that it was coming to the Game Boy Advanced Classics collection. But no, sir. It's coming to Nintendo eShop for $20. And it's just so baffling to me because after these last couple years, where after the release of Scarlet and Violet and the DLC, they waited so long to release Pokemon Legends ZA, enough time where it was clear that they spent time and polished the game. And also, I made a video about the fact that Pokémon Company had not been talking about anything, and that they were so quiet, and that all these things about the new game were like so far away, and that we could wait for these really high quality things. I was excited again to be a Pokemon fan. And I liked ZA when it came out. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. The combat is great. The visuals are great. I played it on my Switch too, and it looks fantastic. It runs great. So I was excited. And I wanted to love this Pokemon 30th anniversary. And I still might. But why are they releasing games from 20 years ago for $20 on the eShop where there are games from the same console for free? Listen, if it wasn't 2:30 in the morning as I'm recording this, I'd be so much more upset, but it still blows me away that we live in a reality where Pokemon is so clearly disconnected from not only their player base, but clearly the sensibilities of their own partner company. I can't necessarily even say that Nintendo is their parent company anymore because they're so giant and kind of separated at this point. But the fact that Nintendo has made an effort for all of these classic games to be released in these packs that they literally have a membership exclusively for. Nintendo makes a good amount of revenue yearly from their player base for signing up for this membership that gives them a bunch of free games that they already own the rights to. It's a no-brainer. Memberships are so ubiquitous in culture right now, and everyone has their own different value propositions. It's not worth it for everyone, but a lot of people find value in the Nintendo membership because you get free games that are part of this classics catalog. And it just literally it is so crazy to me that they have a free, or not free, but a benefit of their membership that includes Game Boy Advance games. And they are now releasing $20 versions of their games that are Game Boy Advance games that could easily be put into that pack as a benefit of having the membership. And they decided to put them as their own standalone games that you must pay individually for. And it doesn't make any sense because it seems like it's the same game. It's just a port of the Game Boy Advance game. There's no extra features. Maybe there's online. Maybe there's something. It doesn't release until 27th. We don't even know. It's a week away. But it just doesn't make any sense. And they did the same thing on the 3DS, on the eShop, when other games were also available to purchase. You could purchase other Game Boy Advance games. You could purchase other NES and Super Nintendo games on your new 3DS. but there wasn't a catalog of free games other than the ambassador program that contained these games. So now, logically, you would think, okay, well now there's a library of these free games that you can upload these games to as part of the subscription service that you charge your customers for. But no, Pokemon Company said, instead of that, we're gonna make everybody mad and charge $20. There's not really a lot of nuance in this. There's not really much room for discussion in my brain right now, because again, it's 2:30 in the morning, but also, like, how do they justify this? How do they make it make sense? They literally have a exclusive benefit of the more expensive tier of their membership, which is for Game Boy Advanced games. And they've already had like Pokemon trading card game on some of these things. They've had like, they're adding Pokemon Coliseum to the GameCube one eventually. Like, we've seen that they're not like immune to adding Pokemon games to these things. So I thought it was a no-brainer that this year, for the anniversary, they'd be adding these games directly to that folder. It would make so much sense for games that are, again, 20 years old. And I can already hear people making the argument that it's the same thing as the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 collection being released on the Switch for $70. And honestly, I kind of agree with you. Like, yeah, it is very similar, but also, like, these two games are some of the most influential games, like, of all time. Like, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are some of the most prolific 3D platformers of all time. And yes, I love Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, but they are remakes of Game Boy Advanced games from over 20 years ago. It's not the same to me. I don't understand, like, it's not the same. Like, let's even just say that you were going to compare, like, just one game. Let's say Mario Galaxy for $40 and Pokemon Fire Red for $20. You know what I mean? I would rather pay $40 for a HD version of Mario Galaxy on my Switch than a port of a remake of a game from the Game Boy Advance from 20 years ago. Also, there is not a Wii Classics Collection on the Switch. There is a Game Boy Advance Classics Collection on the Nintendo Switch for the higher price tier of their membership. It's not the same. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is the first time that I've had like a rant type video on my channel, and I don't even know if it's going to do well, but it was just like, I saw this thing on my phone and I had to just jump into the recording and say something about it, because it really was frustrating me just looking at the screen and being like, what the fuck are they thinking? And like, don't get me wrong, I still am excited for Pokemon Gen 10 whenever that comes out. And again, ZA I think was a great litmus test for like, well, how the graphics are going to look, maybe some of the battle mechanics, some of the, you know, growing up that Pokemon has to do on Switch 2. I think part of the reason that they waited so long, part of the thing that I was talking about in my last video, makes sense for them probably having a dev kit for the Switch 2 and like developing Gen 10 specifically for this new console and making it be this kind of like optimized great thing. And we'll see if that actually goes that way. But this type of shit is how Pokemon Company never gets their good faith back. Like, they could have not done this at all. They either could have put it on the Game Boy Advance, you know, Classics Collection, or not done it at all. And if they would have just released ZA, waited like a year or two, and then had Pokemon Gen 10 be excellent games, they would have probably gotten some goodwill back from the community. But the fact that they drop these asinine prices for something that came out 20 years ago, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's why Pokemon Company continues to get the fucking deserved ire that they get from the gaming fan base. Like, from everybody in general who like looks at the gaming industry and sees what Pokemon is doing. They're like, what? Like, why are you even still relevant? How can you still be relevant? It's because it's Pokemon. Like, it boggles the mind, because they have this like immunity because of the IP, which is, you know, other IPs have similar thing, but just Pokemon in particular feels like you can just get away with anything. And the sick part is, they will again. People are going to post videos. I'm going to post this video, and I'm going to be talking about the fact that Nintendo and Pokemon have lost their minds, and that we got to boycott and do all these things, and no one's going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything other than post this video. I'm probably not going to buy these $20 20-year-old games because I literally still have a Game Boy Advance with Fire Red on it, so I don't need to do that. But like, there will be people who will just buy it, and it's kind of sad, but it's also funny, and it's just ridiculous. And I kind of want to know how you are feeling about this. So I don't know what the form of this video is going to take. I don't know if people are even going to watch it or see it or like it, but I just had to get something going. Thanks you for listening if you did, and tell me what you think about this, because holy shit, it just seems so crazy. Yeah, that's it. Happy anniversary, Pokemon.